Chapter 1241 Journey in Black Heaven. Zhao Lianyan stood at the top of the immortal Gu house, wind-sweeping building, looking outside, only to see that Black Heaven was covered in darkness. A dark veil was shrouding the surroundings, but there was light. Small specks of blurry lights appeared in Zhao Lianyan's vision. They seemed far away. Black Heaven was huge, or rather, the immemorial 9 heavens were all huge. Every layer of the heavens would have the collective size of the 5 regions. But because of Rin Zhu and his 10 children, only Black Heaven and White Heaven were left now. We finally got past the heavenly wind Qi wall and entered Black Heaven. This is Black Heaven. It seems peaceful. The surrounding Gu immortals started conversing. There were more people on this floor than Zhao Lianyun and Bu Zhenzi. We entered Black Heaven. Wei Lingyang transmitted to the other 2 rank 8 Gu immortals. Right now, the 3 immortal Gu houses changed their positions again. Edgelink Camp was at the lead, flying in front, while Canary Pavilion and Wind-Sweeping Building were at its sides respectively, slightly towards the back. The other rank 6 and 7 Gu immortals have never entered Black Heaven before. They did not know the dangers. Wei Lingyang, Myriad Tidal Dragon, and Bai Chun Tian were very clear about them. The immemorial 9 heavens were usually places only rank 8 Gu immortals could enter and explore for resources. There were special rank 7 Gu immortals like Feng Jiugu and Chu Du. They could enter, but at a high risk, regardless of anything else. After entering Black Heaven, the 3 immortal Gu houses became much slower. Furthermore, the immortal Gu houses no longer shined brightly. They were gray and dusty, like 3 lifeless rocks. The surrounding Gu immortals' discussions came to a stop. The entirety of this floor and wind-sweeping building went into silence. That it was completely silent. The first impression that Black Heaven gave to Zhao Lianyun was that it was really huge. It seems that we were quite lucky. Bai Chun Tian said. We should remain careful. The journey has just started. Myriad Tidal Dragon kept up his vigilance. Wei Lingyang suddenly said. Careful, there is a beast group ahead. The 3 immortal Gu houses went even slower now. Even with such a strong lineup, the 3 rank 8 Gu immortals were careful and moved with vigilance. Loud sounds soon entered Zhao Lianyun's ears. What are those things? It seems like a group of boars. Many Gu immortals leaned on the windows, looking outside. Soon, the immortals gasped in succession. With the power of the immortal Gu houses, the Gu immortals could see past the dark veil, noting that a large group of boars were below them. Pigs were flying in the sky. Was it quite funny? No. The Gu immortals had different feelings. They were all shocked. These are astral wind flying heavenly boars. My goodness, there are so many. It is hard to imagine that each astral wind flying heavenly boar is an ancient desolate beast that has rank 7 Gu immortal battle strength. It is rare to see one in the 5 regions, but here there are hundreds. Thankfully, desolate beasts have low intelligence. They do not have the intelligence of humans. The Gu immortals felt gladness amidst their shock. These astral wind flying heavenly boars were snorting loudly as they flew in the sky. Under the immortals' gazes, the leading boar king, who had the largest body, suddenly charged and stomped its feet into the heavenly wind Qi wall. Immediately, the astral wind flying heavenly boars behind the boar king did the same. They were agile like flying fish. They had agility incomparable with their boar bodies. They charged into the heavenly wind Qi wall. Soon, the large group of astral wind flying heavenly boars vanished from sight. Bu Zhenzi stood beside Zhao Lianyun, sighing. Nature is wondrous and incredible. Us Gu immortals have such difficulty passing the heavenly wind Qi wall. But for these astral wind flying heavenly boars, it is incredibly easy. The heavenly wind Qi wall is like water for fish in the sea. At this time, a voice said. Actually, long ago, Gu immortals of the past had realized this. They eliminated the astral wind flying heavenly boars and used the immortal materials gathered from their bodies to refine Qi Path Immortal Gu. These Qi Path Immortal Gu were useful in helping the Gu immortals pass the heavenly wind Qi wall. Bu Zhenzi and Zhao Lianyun turned around, only to see a young male Gu immortal as beautiful as a female. He stood before them quietly, smiling. Bu Zhenzi's eyes shined. He recognized this person. The young male Gu immortal cupped his fists and greeted. I am Uez from Ancient Soul Sect. greets to Senior Buzhenzi and Spirit Affinity House's current generation Fairy Zhao. UEEZ. You may have rank 6 cultivation level, but you are extremely talented. Often, rank 7 goo immortals would approach you to refine immortal goo or research immortal goo recipes. You are one of the top rank 6 goo immortals. Bu Zhenzi replied with a praising tone, but most importantly, he was explaining this to Zhao Linyun. Zhao Linyun obtained a phantom aperture and placed love goo inside. After intense training, she finally joined the circle of goo immortals. She was not very familiar with Central Continent's goo immortals. Hello. You easy. Zhao Linyun nodded at the young goo immortal before asking, since you said that, why did we not use those immortal goo when we passed the heavenly wind chi wall? You easy laughed. That is because the era where chi path was strong is over. Right now, countless chi path goo recipes are lost, and goo materials used to refine them have gone extinct. Think about it. How many people can enter the immemorial 9 heavens? Almost all goo immortals can only explore this place after reaching rank 8. Thus, having such an immortal goo has little effect on them to begin with. Zhao Linyun nodded, expressing her understanding to AT this time. Clamors could be heard from the immortals by the windows. Zhao Linyun turned around and looked, only to see that a huge patch of black clouds narrowly moved past wind-sweeping building. Black clouds are very common in Black Heaven. The ones we are seeing are among the smallest in Black Heaven. The real giant black clouds are like floating continents in the sky. Deep within the black clouds, there are terrifying fierce beasts or plants. UEEZ explained. Even these smallest black clouds took several minutes for the 3 immortal goo houses to fly past. UEEZ was really knowledgeable. He knew many things that even the rank 7 goo immortal Bu Zhenzi was unsure of, and could explain them clearly. He answered almost all of Zhao Linyun's questions. The two conversed more as time passed, and the atmosphere was very relaxed. In the following journey, the 3 immortal goo houses encountered several black clouds along the way. These black clouds were not very evident in Black Heaven. Without a strong investigative killer move, one would unknowingly fly into them. The black clouds were like lone islands in the sea. The surface of the black clouds, and even the interior, were not empty. There were living beings residing there. The 3 rank 8 goo immortals were very careful. They did not move their immortal goo houses into the black clouds. They would rather take a detour and spend more time to avoid the clouds. But sometimes, even when you avoid trouble, trouble still comes to you. Hissing could be heard as a large group of dark venomous snakes flew out of the black clouds, attacking the 3 immortal goo houses. These dark venomous snakes were all desolate beast level, while the king snake was an ancient desolate beast. How can this be? At this distance, we should not be in the territory of the dark venomous snake group. Wei Lingyang was surprised. Fight or retreat? Bai Chun Tian asked. Wei Lingyang thought about it. Retreat. We should avoid fighting to preserve our battle strength. The journey ahead is very long. But retreating won't be easy. These are dark venomous snakes. Inside another immortal goo house, myriad tidal dragon transmitted. The dark venomous snakes held grudges. Once they lock onto prey, they would not give up. The 3 immortal goo houses flew rapidly, but even after a distance, the dark venomous snake group still trailed behind them. Not only this, more and more dark venomous snakes were emerging from the black clouds. So many snakes. That black cloud is like a snake den. I wonder how our 3 rank 8 lords will deal with this. In my opinion, we should fight. We have 3 immortal goo houses after all. That's right. These dark venomous snakes have poison path down marks, and their snake guts are the best immortal material to refine healing immortal goo. The goo immortals inside the immortal goo houses talked to each other, expressing their views. But the 3 rank 8 goo immortals continued to escape. They did not follow their wishes to fight. They continued flying like this. The 3 rank 8 goo immortals tried to avoid as they retreated. In their following journey, they encountered another group of dark venomous snakes. The size was even larger than before. Other than that, they even encountered bear mosquitoes. These mosquitoes were huge like bears. They had terrifying mouths. But most importantly, their numbers were huge, far greater than the dark venomous snakes. The bear mosquito group was very large. On one occasion, The three immortal goo houses were surrounded by a group of bear mosquitoes. They had to fight. Each bear mosquito had desolate beast battle strength. Tens of thousands of bear mosquitoes attacked at once. What did that mean? It was terrifying. After that battle, the goo immortals who wanted to fight all shut up. They realized how dangerous Black Heaven was. Thankfully, they had three immortal goo houses and the protection of rank 8 goo immortals. Otherwise, they would all die under the attacks of the bear mosquitoes. After flying for a while more, they started seeing starlight ahead. Above a black cloud, there was star fragment grass growing with countless insect groups living on top of the grassland. The three immortal goo houses stopped for the first time. Several goo immortals were sent out to harvest the star fragment grass and other resources. Did you all feel it? Wei Lingyang transmitted. That's right. This journey in Black Heaven is especially smooth. I have never encountered this when exploring Black Heaven. By Chen Tian's side, Myriad Tidal Dragon continued. Perhaps the most crucial thing currently in saving Ma Hongyun is Zhao Lianyun's existence. It affects our luck. These clouds in the immemorial 9 heavens normally float randomly. They have no fixed pattern. Even heavens cannot interfere with their movement. Whatever we encounter is up to luck. Wei Lingyang nodded. I think so too. Chapter 1242. Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. Above the vast sea of clouds, a person was standing still, looking at the clouds move as he remained silent. This person wore an azure gold suit of armor. His beard extended to his chest. He was a muscular man with an old appearance. It was South Desolation Immortal. I, Yao Huang, pay respects to Lord South Desolation. A figure emerged. It was Yao Tribe's first Supreme Elder, rank 8 Gu Immortal Yao Huang. South Desolation Immortal turned around and said while smiling, "We are both rank 8s. Just treat me as a friend. No need to be so polite." Yao Huang bowed reverently. In terms of cultivation level, Lord South Desolation, you are far beyond me. In terms of seniority, I am a descendant of countless generations below you. How can I be so rude? South Desolation Immortal nodded, sighing. You are good, but it is a pity that our Huang gene bloodline is dwindling. In this huge northern plains, outside of Longevity Heaven, you are the sole rank 8 Gu Immortal that belongs to a Huang gene tribe. Prince Fengxian was a member of Gong tribe, but from South Desolation Immortal's perspective, he was an outsider in terms of bloodline. Back in my generation, there were 4 rank 8s in the Huang gene tribes. One of them was known as the Tiger God. He had incredible might. He was thought highly of by the people and was a potential seed to ascend to rank 9. Unfortunately, he died in Black Heaven. Time is merciless. The Huang gene bloodline is declining every generation. South Desolation Immortal showed deep disappointment in his eyes. Yao Huang could not speak. Yao Huang was not qualified to speak such criticism of the Huang gene bloodline. Only South Desolation Immortal had the right to comment on it, and he was expressing a fact as well. Yao Huang had nothing to retort that it was like this. Northern Plains Huang gene tribes were degrading. They were lacking talents. In contrast, lone and demonic cultivators were rising up with large numbers of geniuses, like Heavenly Lord Baizu, Chu Du, and that Lu Guan Yi as well. However, Ancestor Giant Sun had anticipated this situation. South Desolation Immortal suddenly said, causing Yao Huang to feel great shock. Oh? Ancestor Giant Sun lived in the medieval antiquity era. He could predict this future situation. Even though our ancestor cultivated luck path, his wisdom path capabilities were not low at all. Furthermore, luck is uncertainty in essence. Ancestor created luck path. He naturally learned the true meaning of change in this world. After he created 88 True Yang building, he proclaimed that this building was bound to fall one day. When it did, a great era would begin. It was a sign of changing times. South Desolation Immortal added. Yao Huang was shocked. Is that so? What was a great era? It was a great era if an immortal venerable or demon venerable could come into existence. South Desolation Immortal sighed deeply. Ancestor Giant Sun spent a lot of effort and set up many arrangements to help his descendants and preserve strength. He wanted to ensure that they would be part of the wave in this great era's storms and tides. In the worst case, he wanted to ensure that his bloodline would be passed down intact. Yao Huang hesitated. No matter how weak our Huang gene bloodline becomes, we must be able to defend ourselves, at least. Northern Plains is still under our control, and even if we are useless, there is still longevity heaven. South Desolation Immortal shook his head. Longevity heaven might be strong, but it is just the immortal aperture of our ancestor. Meanwhile, Heavenly Court has the immortal apertures of 3 immortal venerables, and all of the members of Heavenly Court have contributed their own grotto heavens throughout history. How can Longevity Heaven's foundation compare to Heavenly Court? Like right now, Central Continent came to invade us. They sent 3 rank 8 Gu Immortals and 3 immortal Gu houses. Does our Huang gene bloodline possess such strength? Yao Huang was tongue-tied. What? Central Continent invaded? South Desolation Immortal did not explain. He said, "Follow me." Saying this, he flew to the sky. Yao Huang quickly followed after him. The 2 immortals flew through the heavenly wind chi wall, getting into Black Heaven. Under South Desolation Immortal's lead, Yao Huang headed towards the southeast direction. After flying for a while, Yao Huang was shaken. Black Heaven is such a dangerous place. Even though I explore it often for rank 8 immortal materials, I have never had such a smooth journey without any obstacles before. Don't tell me Lord South Desolation has a map of Black Heaven. But the truth was, maps did not work in the immemorial 9 heavens. The clouds that were in the 9 heavens were constantly changing. Some were in specific locations, but those were rare and few. The Central Continent group had a relatively smooth trip, but they still encountered trouble like the Astral Wind Flying Heavenly Boar group, the Dark Venomous Snake group, and other problems. South Desolation Immortal and Yao Huang met with absolutely no issues. They were safe and sound, as if they were strolling in their own garden. All right, this is the place. South Desolation Immortal stopped flying. Yao Huang also slowed down, stopping beside him, but he felt a little strange. This place was empty, without a trace of wind. Why was South Desolation Immortal stopping here? At the next moment, South Desolation Immortal answered him with an action. His body shined with golden light, like a fragment of the sun. Yao Huang had to close his eyes in response. Yao Huang's heart jumped. Black Heaven was dark and eerie. This action of creating strong light would attract the attack of countless fierce beasts. Even though he became alert, no beast groups came attacking. Is this really Black Heaven? Yao Huang wondered. A moment later, South Desolation Immortal's immortal killer move was completed. A grand dark gold palace appeared out of nowhere, revealing its majestic appearance. Yao Huang had never expected an immortal Gu house to be hidden here, but he quickly realized what this palace was. He became extremely agitated as he called out, "This is Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace? Calamity Luck Altar, 88 True Yang Building, Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace." These were the 3 immortal Gu houses that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable owned during his life. 88 True Yang Building was placed in Imperial Court Blessed Land by Giant Sun Immortal Venerable. Calamity Luck Altar was kept in Longevity Heaven, while this Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace was placed in Black Heaven. Hidden for countless years, Ancestor Giant Sun placed Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. Here, there clearly are deep intentions. But what was he planning? Yao Huang continued to guess as South Desolation Immortal turned around to look at him. "Follow me." Yao Huang followed South Desolation Immortal, entering Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. "Both of you have arrived." Inside the hall, there was one person. He sat on a cushion. He was not formed from will. He opened his eyes as lightning flashed in his eyes. Golden radiance shone brightly. Yao Huang saw this and shuddered. Huge waves were churning in his heart. "Ancestor. Ancestor Giant Sun?" "Howl!" The wolf group called out, chasing after the 3 immortal Gu houses. These wolves had long and slim bodies. They had black eyes, claws, and fangs. They were emitting cold glints of light. Most amazingly, they had no fur on their bodies. They had black and shiny leather armor that were very tough. This was a Night Heavenly Wolf group. The size was huge. There were over 10,000 Night Heavenly Wolves. Each Night Heavenly Wolf was a desolate beast. Wolf Kings were ancient desolate beasts. There was even a Wolf Emperor. It had rank 8 battle strength. "We can't escape. We are surrounded." To think that the Wolf Emperor has a wild rank 8 immortal Gu that can conceal traces. A wolf group of this scale is not seen often in Black Heaven. We actually met one. The three rank 8 Gu immortals conversed rapidly. Wei Lingyang shouted, "Charge towards the northwest." Edgelink Camp opened a path in front. Its aura rose as immortal essence was expended rapidly, forming a huge charging horn. Wherever the giant horn went, it pierced into the wolf formation, creating a huge hole as several hundred desolate beast night heavenly wolves died. The immortal Gu house charged into the wolf group, as Canary Pavilion and Wind Sweeping Building followed close after it. The huge battle was dangerous and terrifying. The Wolf Emperor attacked during the battle. Its huge hill, like claws, sent the immortal Gu houses flying. Thankfully, each of the immortal Gu houses had a rank 8 Gu immortal inside. The three immortal Gu houses could display their might and kill countless wolves. The wolf group's encirclement tactic was at an incredibly profound level. Even though the three immortal Gu houses charged ahead, they could not break out. Eventually, the Wolf Emperor howled and retreated with the other wolves, causing this bloodbath to end. The wolf group had sustained losses that were too huge. The Wolf Emperor did not want to weaken it any further, thus it left. The three immortal Gu houses were extremely damaged. A great number of Gu worms were destroyed, including 3 immortal Gu. The 3 rank 8 Gu immortals also worked up a sweat. They were in difficult conditions. Their immortal essence expenditure was immense. Why is it that the closer we get to northern plains, the harder it becomes? We have already encountered 5 night heavenly wolf groups. We also met dragon crocodiles, ghost spirit foxes. It seems like countless beast groups are trying to kill us. Forget about these beast groups. The most important thing is that we cannot encounter any black-white overturning clouds anymore. That time, this wind-sweeping building almost failed to come back. Let's rest first and fix the immortal Gu houses, Wei Lingyang said. The 3 immortal Gu houses had just stopped when countless lights illuminated an enormous surrounding range. It resembled the blooming of countless flowers. The sparks were light red and looked like countless overlapping petals of flowers, but inside the flames, there were dark spots. Oh no, this is a special phenomenon of black heaven. Black lanterns, blind fire nurtures inside them. Do not look at them. Bai Chun Tian shouted as he shut his eyes. But it was too late. Many Gu immortals only took one look before they lost their sight. Inside the 3 immortal Gu houses, screaming and shouting could be heard. It was chaotic. Zhao Yin was quite lucky. She was facing the interior of the Gu house. As she spoke to Yu Easy, Yu Easy looked at the blind fire from the black lanterns. Feeling his vision weakening rapidly as it turned blurry, he quickly shut his eyes. He was very knowledgeable, but many Gu immortals were not. Some were leaning on the windows as they looked around. They saw at least 10,000 blind fires. Their vision turned completely dark, losing the ability to see anything. The 3 immortal Gu houses quickly escaped hurriedly. Black lanterns did not cause any physical damage, unlike wind or rain. The immortal Gu houses charged through them as they quickly left the black lanterns behind. The 3 rank 8 Gu immortals counted. At least 3 people permanently lost their sight without any ways to recover. 7 had severely weakened vision. It greatly affected their battle strength, but it could be salvaged at a high price. Some healing immortal Gu were needed to be sent through Treasure Yellow Heaven. We just left the wolf group and wanted to rest when we encountered black lanterns, while at the center of them. This is too unlucky. Wait, what is that? A swarm of ants were approaching. Each ant was a Gu worm. Nether ant Gu. Nether ants open a path. There has to be a soul beast army of hundreds of thousands, or even millions. Run, quickly run. The 3 immortal Gu houses had just stopped when they were forced to flee again. Chapter 1243, A Favor. Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable actually appeared in front of Yao Huang. Yao Huang was overwhelmed with shock. He could not believe it. South Desolation. Pay respects to Immortal Venerable. At this time, South Desolation Immortal greeted respectfully. This unfilial descendant greets ancestor. Yao Huang was shaking from excitement. He quickly knelt down on the ground, tears flowing over his face. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable smiled lightly. Stand up, my main body has already died. I am merely a corpse sitting before you now. Yao Huang raised his head in shock. After inspection, he finally saw that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable in front of him was not alive. He was an immortal zombie. Ever since Red Lotus Demon Venerable damaged Fate Gu, all souls in this world could remain in the realm of the living. Since then, zombies appeared. Gradually, when Gu immortals realized they had insufficient lifespan, they would become immortal zombies. It was their best alternative, even though Heavenly Court was against it and tried to stop it. They could not resist the desires of humans. More and more immortal zombies showed up in the 5 regions. Ordinary Gu immortals could become immortal zombies. There was no reason why Giant Sun Immortal Venerable could not do the same, right? Thinking of this, Yao Huang's doubts vanished. Giant Sun Immortal Zombie continued to explain. Right now, other than my body, I only have some remnant will left inside this body. But Yao Huang was still very excited. Undeniably, you are the source of our Huang gene bloodline, our common ancestor. As long as you show yourself, all of the Huang gene tribes would end their conflicts and be united as one. The entirety of Northern Plains would belong to us Huang gene tribes again. But Giant Sun Immortal Zombie shook his head. My main body died long ago. I only left a corpse behind. I did not manage to surpass rank 9 and attain eternal life. What is the point of showing myself? I will just be a laughing stock. Furthermore, my body only has 1 attack left. If I move even slightly, it will fizzle out. Just 1 attack? Yao Huang was shocked. The admiration and excitement in his eyes did not fade at all. Even if Ancestor can only attack once, it will definitely shake heaven and earth and make the sun and moon pale in comparison. Giant Sun Immortal Zombie laughed. That is naturally the case. But don't count on it. I set Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace here to defend Northern Plains. But I left this body behind for another reason. I need to return a favor. A favor? Yao Huang was shocked. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable became an immortal zombie and stayed in Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace for 300,000 years just to return a favor. Who was it? Who could make a great immortal venerable owe a favor? And this favor was so huge that Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had to do this. Yao Huang was very confused, but Giant Sun Immortal Zombie did not explain it. He said, right now, Central Continent invaded, but I cannot fight them off. Don't count on me. It all depends on you too. Yao Huang slowly stood up with a solemn expression. Central Continent's Gu Immortals might have a strong lineup, but we have Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace, myself, and Lord South Desolation. Don't worry, Ancestor. I will defend against these people at all costs. Even if I have to give up my life, I will do so without hesitation. Giant Sun Immortal Zombie looked at Yao Huang before shutting his eyes, returning to an inactive state. At this moment, he seemed to have become a statue. He no longer spoke. Yao Huang did not know why, but South Desolation Immortal patted his shoulder. Come with me. The 2 immortals left the main hall, going to the hall behind it. Yao Huang was still excited from earlier. Please give me orders, Lord South Desolation. I will do whatever it takes. South Desolation Immortal shook his head. Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace is a rank 8 immortal Gu house. It was created by Ancestor Giant Sun personally, using the Heaven and Earth Luck True Inheritance. Ancestor Giant Sun had great foresight. He placed Luck Suppression Heavenly Palace here for 300,000 years, suppressing this area until now. Do you know what Heaven and Earth Luck is? Yao Huang was dazed, muttering, Heaven and Earth Luck. South Desolation Immortal did not wait for a response. He smiled. A person has their own luck. A beast has its luck. A blade of grass also has its own luck. Any life form has luck. Other than that, rocks, rivers, they all have luck. And for the entirety of this heaven and earth, there is also heaven luck and earth luck. The Heaven and Earth Luck True Inheritance deciphers the profundities of heaven and earth, researching them, using them, and changing them. Forget the fact that there are 3 rank 8 Gu Immortals who brought 3 immortal Gu houses with them. Even if they doubled in numbers, once they came here, they were goners. I did not call you here for you to risk your life. You are the only rank 8 Huang gene bloodline descendant outside of longevity heaven. Huh? Yao Huang was shocked. South Desolation Immortal continued. I have little lifespan left. After surviving for so long, Lifespan Gu stopped working on me. Next, I want you to see how I manipulate this immortal Gu house and eliminate these Central Continent Gu Immortals. After I die, you will inherit my position as South Desolation. Yao Huang stared with wide-opened eyes, shouting, "Lord South Desolation." Wind-sweeping building was silent inside. The black lanterns were like wind, rain, and lightning. They were a unique type of phenomenon in Black Heaven. They were not unprotected, but the black lanterns appeared too suddenly. And most importantly, when they appeared, Canary Pavilion, Wind-sweeping building, and Edge-Link camp were right at the center of countless black lanterns. Normally speaking, when Rank 8 Gu Immortals explored Black Heaven, if they saw any black lanterns, they would avoid them from afar. This time, the Central Continent Gu Immortals had just escaped the Night Heavenly Wolf group. They relaxed and did not expect the black lanterns to appear. Thus, many Gu Immortals were heavily injured as a result. At the top of Wind-sweeping building. "Father, your eyes." Rank 6 Gu Immortal Shizheng, he had tears in his eyes as he sobbed. His father was a famous Rank 7 Gu Immortal expert. To think that he was one of the 3 who went blind. When the Black Lanterns appeared, he was using an investigative killer move to observe the wolf group. His investigative killer move was very useful, but that resulted in him losing his vision instead. That it was confirmed that from now on, Shirgu would no longer be able to see. He would be a blind man that could never use his eyes again. But Shirgu was calm. He stretched out his arm, patting Shizheng Yi's head, saying, "So what if I lose my sight? I have many methods and countless investigative killer moves. Even if I lose my vision, I can still cultivate and fight. What is the matter?" But Shizheng Yi lowered his head and gritted his teeth, almost at the point of crying. "My son, don't cry easily. Gu Immortal cultivation is full of dangers. As long as we are still alive, we should continue charging ahead. Don't cry like a weakling. Don't you like listening to stories? Think about those protagonists. How did they live?" Shirgu said softly. Shizheng Yi nodded. "Father, I understand." Even the Rank 7 Gu Immortal expert Shirgu lost his sight from this. Zhao Lianyan looked at this as her heart shook. She felt that this immortal Gu house, Wind-sweeping building, was not so safe after all, but she soon thought of Ma Hongyun. "Hongyun, wait for me. No matter how dangerous and hard this is, I will find you and rescue you." Zhao Lianyan cheered herself on as determination shone in her eyes. "You easy. How are you?" Zhao Lianyan asked the young Gu Immortal beside her. This refinement path Gu Immortal had been sitting on the ground with his eyes shut after seeing the black lanterns outside the window. He had been using an immortal killer move to heal himself. Hearing Zhao Lianyan's question, Yu Yi did not stop his immortal killer move. He spoke without opening his eyes. "Thankfully, I realized early on and shut my eyes. If I was a bit slower, I would not be able to heal myself." Yu Yi did not speak anymore. He stopped talking. Cold sweat was still remaining on his forehead as he experienced lingering fear. Gradually, the Gu Immortals became silent. Inside the 3 immortal Gu houses, they were enveloped with a solemn mood. Outside the immortal Gu house, there were soul howls. It was disturbing to the ears. Even if the immortal Gu house was dampening the effect, Dupu Zhanzi looked outside worriedly. "Oh no, we are encircled by a soul beast army." Zhao Lianyan heard this and looked outside, only to see countless nether ant Gu surrounding the 3 immortal Gu houses, like waves of black river currents. Chapter 1244, Star Cloud Storm. Outside, there were countless nether ant Gu, with the figures of soul beasts among them. They were truly a massive army. The shocking thing was that their auras were joined together like a group of mountains. They would be incredibly powerful once they moved, like a tsunami that crashed down with endless might. Not just the size of the soul beast army, but also the fact that there were many ancient and immemorial soul beasts among them. The Gu Immortals could also sense the auras of many wild immortal Gu. 5 immemorial soul beasts. We have just left the Black Lanterns, and now a soul beast army is here. The 3 rank 8 Gu Immortals conversed secretly. They were having a bad feeling regarding how the situation was developing. Their luck was too bad. It was very suspicious. Wei Lingyang said grimly. "It seems that we need to consider the worst-case scenarios in our trip from now on." "Damn it." Bai Chun Tian clenched his fists. Ever since Red Lotus Demon Venerable damaged Fate Gu, the door of life and death became much weaker in absorbing souls. Many strong souls are able to stay in this world. After Spectral Soul Demon Venerable ascended, The world changed in that great era, and soul beasts appeared. Many souls even directly turned into soul beasts. Right now in immemorial Black Heaven, soul beasts are rampant in great numbers. When can we eradicate them and return to world to its rightful form? Soon, myriad tidal dragon added. After the battle of Etion Mountain, most of the immortal zombies in the world were destroyed. These were fate escapees that were meant to die. Now that they are dead, the difficulty of refining fate immortal goo lowered drastically. With Granny Shah repairing it now, even without success down marks from infallible blessed land, we are still making huge progress. Wei Lingyang shook his head. Take note, the Soul Beast Army is coming. The matter at hand is to try and escape from the Soul Beast Army. Myriad Tidal Dragons sighed. The best way is to use Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable's defensive method, the killer move that pairs with divine concealment, ghostly concealment. Rumors has it that the Goo Immortal who possesses this immortal killer move would not be detected by soul beasts at all. But now, let's use my dragon flow escape. But in this case, I need to bring myself and 3 immortal Goo houses with me, along with many Goo Immortals. Once I use this move, I will not be able to fight for the next 3 days. The 3 Immortals discussed and decided to use Myriad Tidal Dragons method. Dragons roared. Countless flying dragon phantoms appeared in the air, encircling the 3 immortal Goo houses. The white dragon phantoms were like a long river, an uncountable number of dragons made of light, grand and unstoppable, charging forward with the 3 immortal Goo houses. The Soul Beast Army howled, blocking them with multiple layers. But Dragon Flow Escape was incredible. By charging relentlessly, an opening was forcibly created as the 3 immortal Goo houses escaped from the dangerous Soul Beast Army. The Soul Beasts moved quickly. The army did not give up. It followed closely behind. Myriad Tidal Dragon did not dare to deactivate Dragon Flow Escape. He had to grit his teeth and continue fueling it. Both sides chased for 6 hours, until the Soul Beast Army gave up. Its attention was drawn to a group of dark venomous snakes. I'm spent. I need to rest for 7 days before I can do anything again. It will depend on the rest of you now. Myriad Tidal Dragon had a pale expression. His face turned white. His originally vigorous eyes were filled with traces of blood, like he was completely exhausted beyond his limits. After stopping the killer move Dragon Flow Escape, Myriad Tidal Dragon fell backwards as he sank into deep sleep. His eyes were shut as he snored. His snore was special. It sounded like the roaring of dragons as he slept. A thick fog appeared around his body. The thick fog started to form into a cocoon. 2 hours later, the cocoon thickened and turned into a pale white dragon egg. We are free from those soul beasts. It was really dangerous. The killer move earlier seemed to be from one of the 3 rank 8 great experts, Lord Myriad Tidal Dragon's method. It was truly grand and majestic. I was completely in awe. Inside the 3 immortal Goo houses, the Goo Immortals were cheering and praising, but Bai Chun Tian and Wei Lingyang had grim expressions. Myriad Tidal Dragon had fallen into deep sleep. They had lost one of their 3 rank 8s, but the journey was still around half done. The 3 immortal Goo houses slowed down as the Goo Immortals inside tried to repair the immortal Goo houses in the next 2 hours. The Central Continent Goo Immortals encountered several ghost spirit fox groups and bear mosquito groups. They either retreated or fought, using the might of the immortal Goo houses to move forward. Bai Chun Tian's heart suddenly shook. His lips curled into a smile as he said, Lord Wei Lingyang, I found a huge field of heaven-attached fungi 3,000 li away from here. Is that so? Wei Lingyang let out a breath of air. Then we will rest there. The 3 immortal Goo houses turned around and flew away. In a while, all 3 immortal Goo houses landed on the surface of the heaven-attached fungi. Where is this? Are we safe? Zhao Lianyan looked outside in shock, especially when she saw her Goo immortal companions leaving the immortal Goo house to move freely on the heaven-attached fungi. Yuez smiled as he explained. The immemorial 9 heavens have their own special points. Like the Black Lantern phenomenon, it is unique to Black Heaven. But in the 9 heavens, there are some common aspects, like the astral wind flying heavenly boar, or this heaven-attached fungi. This fungi only grows in the immemorial 9 heavens. Heaven-attached fungi is a rank 6 immortal material. Most importantly, it has to grow on its own without any foreign Tao marks. Other life forms, and even rocks cannot exist here. Thus, once we see a field of heaven-attached fungi, we know it is a safe place to rest at. Alright, I have to go out now and collect some heaven-attached fungi. This is a rare opportunity. Yu Easy quickly left wind-sweeping building. Zhao Yinyan had no interest in the heaven-attached fungi. She had just become a Gu immortal. It had been too little time. She did not know the importance of cultivation resources. She was only thinking of how to save her lover Ma Hongyun. A moment later, there were no Gu immortals left in wind-sweeping building. Are you not going to collect some heaven-attached fungi? Zhao Yinyan looked at Bu Zhenzi. Asking this, Bu Zhenzi smiled. The sect ordered me to protect you. I will not leave you for even a second. Zhao Yinyan was understanding towards this. Then I will go down as well. Bu Zhenzi shook his head. Thank you for the thought, but even if we are standing on the heaven-attached fungi, I will not pick them. That would only distract me. If anything happens, it will be too late to regret it. Zhao Yinyan heard this and felt warmth in her heart. She said softly, Thank you. Bu Zhenzi shook his head. No need to be so polite. You are the current generation fairy of Spirit Affinity House. My duty is to protect you. Zhao Yinyan sighed, leaning on the window as she said gloomily, To think that Black Heaven is so dangerous, but there is such a safe place here. It shows that heaven always leaves a way out. We will definitely succeed in this trip. Right. Bu Zhenzi did not hesitate. He answered, Of course. But he suddenly dragged out his words in a strange toned at the same time. Zhao Yinyan saw that there was some starlight shining far away. This was not the blind fire from black lanterns. Of course, the color was different. This blue starlight resembled countless diamonds embedded on black silk. It was distant and unforgettable. Zhao Yinyan squinted as she sighed. So beautiful. Very dangerous. According to the records, this size. Bu Zhenzi turned pale. He said in a trembling tone. Zhao Yinyan became alert. What? She had just asked when the warning and orders of rank 8 Gu Immortal by Qin Tian came. Outside the Immortal Gu house, Gu Immortals were rushing back in a panic. Wei Lingyang's gaze was like an eagle. He looked at the approaching starlight with a grim expression. What a huge star cloud storm. Millions upon millions of stars were flying now. Some shooting stars had long trails left in the night sky, among which were huge stars. Some were island-sized, while some were as large as a piece of land. Between stars, there were countless starlight specks, like the weaving of a web of lightning. The star cloud storm was a phenomenon unique to immemorial blue heaven. But due to historical reasons, immemorial blue heaven shattered and large numbers of stars fell into immemorial black heaven. Thus, there were star cloud storms in black heaven as well. This is the first time I am seeing a star cloud storm of this scale. Bai Chun Tian had an ugly expression. Now it seems this heaven-attached fungi field was a trap to lure us to rest here. Chapter 1245. Watching a meteor shower with you. The star cloud storm's range was too huge. It was fast and powerful. The 3 immortal Gu houses from Central Continent could not escape from it. The stars flew over endlessly. Lightning clouds were rumbling as starlight shot out continuously. It was a magnificent sight, but one could only feel weak and helpless, expressing nothing but shock at this. I will charge ahead with Edge Link Camp. The rest of you follow me. At the crucial moment, Wei Lingyang decided this. The 3 immortal Gu houses flew towards the star cloud storm. The huge immortal Gu houses were like tiny ants in front of the star cloud storm. Heaven and earth was growling loudly. The star cloud storm was like a prehistoric whale, swallowing the 3 Central Continent immortal Gu houses easily. The 3 immortal Gu houses were unable to satisfy the appetite of this star cloud storm. Rumble, wind-sweeping building, was shaking intensely. Zhao Yin could not stand stably. She fell to the ground. Outside the window, countless glaring starlight specks were shining in, turning the entirety of wind-sweeping building blue. Zhao Yinyan felt like she was on a plank in a stormy sea. She was enduring the might of the tides and strikes of lightning. Her mouth was dry. She was scared. Even with Gu immortal battle strength, she could not resolve this problem. She could only rely on the immortal Gu houses, on the 3 rank 8 great experts. Zhao Lianyun did not know that among the three rank 8 Gu immortals, Myriad Tidal Dragon was sleeping now. Thankfully, wind-sweeping building was under Bai Chun Tian's control. The situation was better than Canary Pavilion. But even so, Bai Chun Tian was covered in sweat. He was concentrating and did not dare to relax his mind. He moved wind-sweeping building and traveled in the star cloud storm, continuously avoiding the huge stars. These stars moved quickly. If wind-sweeping building crashed into them, it would suffer huge damage. Even though wind-sweeping building was an immortal Gu house and would not break apart from just a few stars, in this situation, once wind-sweeping building loses control of its movement, it would slow down and be hit by endless number of stars. If that happened, it would be destroyed inside this star cloud storm. Everyone would die. Gu immortals are powerful, and immortal Gu houses are useful, but against the might of heaven and earth, we are still minuscule and insignificant. Bai Chun Tian gritted his teeth. Oh no, he could not react in time. Wind-sweeping building finally got hit. A hill-like star crashed into wind-sweeping building with the ferocity of a storm. Wind-sweeping building's entire size was less than 10% of the star, but it was an immortal Gu house. It was sturdy to it was the star which shattered instead of wind-sweeping building. But the impact of the star's collision sent wind-sweeping building flying far away through brute force. The three immortal Gu houses were working together and flying alongside each other earlier. But now, the other two immortal Gu houses dodged the star, while wind-sweeping building was pushed away from the group. Bai Chun, quick! Wei Lingyang's voice could be heard. But in this star cloud storm, fragments were everywhere. The uncountable number of star path Dao marks were disrupting the information path communication method of Wei Lingyang, and Bai Chun Tian, Bai Chun Tian could only hear a short and incomplete message. But he knew what Wei Lingyang wanted to say. Wei Lingyang wanted him to try and catch up with them. In the star cloud storm, Wei Lingyang could not stay behind or even have any strength to reinforce Bai Chun Tian, because around him, Canary Pavilion also needed to be taken care of. Bai Chun Tian had to rely on himself. Let's do it. Bai Chun Tian shouted. His eyes shone with endless brilliance. His rank 8 aura surged like a tornado. Wind-sweeping buildings shone with a jade-green light, which quickly turned into fierce winds rapidly. The winds moved and howled shrilly. These deep green-colored winds joined together, forming into a strong and sturdy tornado pillar. Immortal Gu house wind-sweeping building stabilized. The surrounding stars were all pushed away by the wind pillar. This is wind-sweeping building's strongest method. Uez was roused. His eyes shone with light as he said excitedly. Wind-sweeping building was at the center of the wind pillar. It was completely peaceful here, as if they had left the terrible tsunami and landed on a shore. The Gu immortals inside wind-sweeping building erupted into cheers. Zhao Lianyun had just crawled up from the floor when a huge star crashed into the tornado wind pillar. Before breaking in and assaulting wind-sweeping building. The crucial moment, Bai Chun Tian had a timely response. He controlled wind-sweeping building and lowered their altitude. This huge star grazed past wind-sweeping building. Some Gu immortals by the window could see that at the moment near collision, the star had countless holes on the surface. They could be seen due to the close proximity. The Gu immortals who were normally graceful and elegant screamed again. They were like mortals who were experiencing natural disasters. Wind-sweeping building moved with difficulty inside the star cloud storm. Even though this immortal Gu house used its strongest method against the star cloud storm, it was not enough. Some huge stars approached forcefully, directly crashing into the tornado wind pillar. And between the stars, there was a chaotic magnetic field. These fields repelled, attracted, and crushed wind-sweeping building. Wind-sweeping building had to dodge those stars while under the might of these magnetic fields. Thankfully, it was the rank 8 Gu immortal Bai Chun Tian holding the fort. Any rank 7 Gu immortal would falter for sure. However, even Bai Chun Tian was covered in sweat. His rank 8 immortal essence was rapidly expended. His expenditure far surpassed any battle he had ever had. This will not do. This star cloud storm is too huge. I do not know when I can escape. Bai Chun Tian had a thought as he ordered for the Gu immortals to send their immortal essence into wind-sweeping building. The Gu immortals quickly contributed their efforts, including Zhao Lianyun. She had a phantom aperture, but she had refined immortal essence stones before and accumulated some immortal essence. Boom, boom, boom. From time to time, huge stars would crash into the wind pillar. Most would be dodged by wind-sweeping building, but some still hit. The magnetic fields were everywhere, like a cruel giant toying around with wind-sweeping building. Inside the immortal goo house, the goo immortals did not speak. They were infusing their immortal essence into wind-sweeping building wholeheartedly. The atmosphere was tense. Every time a giant star crashed, many goo immortals' bodies shook. Zhao Lianyun's heart was in trepidation. She had never been faced with such danger. She would not be surprised if she died at the next moment. Hong Yun, Hong Yun. She thought of Ma Hong Yun's name. Each time she mentally muttered it, her heart returned to peace slightly. After countless times, Zhao Lianyun's mental state became completely peaceful. Hong Yun, you had once risked your life for me. Do you know? I am doing the same now. Even if I die here, I have no regrets. I am coming to save you. When I meet you, I will tell you that the starlight here is very fierce and dangerous beyond your imagination. It is not romantic at all. In a daze, Zhao Lianyun recalled the past, that time. Zhao Lianyun's father had died in the battlefield. She was all alone, forced to marry someone else. She had to rely on Ma Hong Yun. On a small mound. It was night time. Ma Hong Yun was lying on the grassland with her. Lady Xiao Yun, quickly look. It's a meteor shower. Ma Hong Yun pointed at the sky as he shouted. Boring. You brought me here to see this? Zhao Lianyun rolled her eyes. What is so nice about this? Guh. Ma Hong Yun scratched his head. I don't find it nice either, but they said that to make a girl happy, I need to watch a meteor shower with her. At this time, in northern plains, we can often see meteor showers at night. Zhao Lianyun mentally sighed, thinking, I am so old already. I am afraid only young girls would like this. Wait a minute. My body is still young. I am still a young girl. At this time, Ma Hong Yun asked, Lady Xiao Yun, after looking at this meteor shower, has your mood improved? Zhao Lianyun mentally sighed once again. She said in a coaxing tone, I am much better now. I am so happy. Look, this meteor shower is so beautiful, huh? Ma Hong Yun's body shook. He quickly waved his hand. Lady Xiao Yun, don't say that. I am getting goosebumps. Zhao Lianyun stood up in an instant, stomping at Ma Hong Yun. Learning how to woo women out of all things, and you want to flirt with me? You are actually flirting with me. Ma Hong Yun was screaming out in pain from getting kicked, shouting, Lady Xiao Yun, stop, stop it. What is flirting? I have done no such thing. If I did something wrong, I will change it, okay? Stop kicking me. Zhao Lianyun ignored him as Ma Hong Yun rolled around from getting kicked. Eventually, Zhao Lianyun worked up a sweat. She placed her arms at her waist as she looked at the scurrying Ma Hong Yun. Laughing smugly, Ma Hong Yun heard her laughter and thought, Lady Xiao Yun is finally laughing. As expected, the meteor shower made her mood better. Gasp, but it is so painful for me. Her memories flashed right before Zhao Lianyun's eyes. Unknowingly, Zhao Lianyun had started smiling. Hong Yun, after I save you, I will kick you countless times to celebrate it. Zhao Lianyun thought. Right at this time, love goo inside her phantom aperture actually emitted a profound aura on its own. The aura was colorless and formless. It spread rapidly. Ordinary goo immortals could not sense it, but by Chun Tian's body shook, his eyes shone with brilliance. He subconsciously thought, is this the power of love goo?